Hello, friends. It's Sensei Christopher. We are live in Palm Springs, and we're debuting a new chapter in our lives. That's both us, Serious Joy, and also for you. We have a special show today. We're kicking off a new series, and this is focused on being with you in the afternoon as we coast out of a day. Now, we're also going to have a lot of great things. First of all, we're going to have free readings and readings here. You can actually get a reading by sending a text message. We'll give you a talk about that, or an email, rather. We'll show you how to do that. And we're going to have a couple of friends come by, and this is going to be something we're starting today. Now, why are we starting this today? Because we wanted this birth chart. I'll explain it all more. Welcome now to Serious Joy Alive. SiriusJoy Academy is now offering gift certificates called Gifted Scholarships in 6-month, 9-month, and 1-year increments. This is the first time we've ever offered this. SiriusJoy is the most accurate astrology service in the world. And now you can stun your loved ones with a spiritual mirror that helps them every day. Visit SiriusJoy.academy to make your purchase. That's SiriusJoy.academy. Available now. Hey everybody, welcome to Serious Joy Alive. This is a new project we're doing, and it has many, many stories behind it. We'll talk about that today. Welcome everyone. Mostly it's time to get in everyone's presence again. That's what we've come to realize. In the last few days of meditation, as we're kind of moving towards this moment, I've gotten like a severe, clear message from Spirit on what to do next. And that's typical for me in Spirit, drives our staff nuts. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. It's not always going to be this way, but we're at a very magical moment. By the way, today's a galactic birthday. Today, the Milky Way is another whatever long. The sun conjuncts and crosses over the midheaven today, or our galactic center rather, which is sort of our midheaven, is where we're heading, and it's what we're here to do. Step 27 is where we're in. That's in net 9. I'm personally 18 at 9. We'll talk about the numbers and how you fit in. But what this means is this is a day to move forward officially with the new story. If you've been watching me for a while, I've always said there's a story you're born to, there's a story you're born to live. And this is the transition officially between those two stories. In your heart right now, you're going to be heading this direction at a galactic pace. And so I got the calling that it's time now to hang out pretty much every day for a while because the next 9 months to a year is going to be incredibly intense. And I want to develop a good relationship with everyone and bring everyone on board. And this is not going to be an education show. This is not a show where we will always educate and inform, but our primary concern really is bringing together community here. This is like to hang out, get to know each other, have fun, share stuff, and do lots of readings. We're going to do lots and lots and lots of readings because people need them done. We just can't keep up with them. And we need you to see, too, just how incredible the step system is and how incredible astrology and tarot and all these other disciplines are. They're phenomenal. They're tools. We need to use them and employ them now. So we'll be showing things like that as well. But overall, this is also a plea because Serious Joy now has been on the air. We have been in business for 10 years, 10 solid years. And we are still, some ways struggling to move forward and to go into the next chapter for us. We've tried our hardest to never borrow money and not go into debt, which is very difficult to do and keep a staff. And so we're reaching out to you now. It's time to get on board. We have some new products coming out. We also have ways to participate. And this is one of them. We're going to sell these little readings today. And we're thinking that it might bring in some cash and also help you at the same time. I'll let you know that all the money that we make is going straight into Serious Joy's coffers. I myself don't take a salary for this. And we really, really can't do enough to give back to the public with readings. That's what the public needs the most. That's what we find. And people love watching this stuff too. So it's going to be a lot of fun. In fact, let's see. For starters, let's see. What are the if you would like to actually get a question answered on camera, the way it's going to work is you can submit a question that's just a text message. And or just an email message, and you just type in the message, type in the question, and then I'll sit here, look at your chart, and I will give you the answer, anonymously, basically. Use any name you want, and it'll be one question answered. There's another one where it gives you the first question and then a follow-up, and that's a little bit more, and that actually gives you a little interaction, and we'll be interacting with you through the chat. And then we have a feature where you can come on camera and have a full 15-minute reading on camera. There's only one of these a day because it's full 15 minutes of the show. But it'll be a show we're going to go really deep on reading charts, and we're going to, see what comes up. And it's, what I love about this idea is that the public decides who comes on. It's really cool. And so you might not get today, but if you do purchase today, everyone should realize that you will be now put in order in which you were ordered pay for the question. And so we're just going to, show it out over a calendar when you will be having your question answered. So people can purchase ahead. I encourage you to purchase ahead because as you are in line, you will be served basically. But it's going to be fun. And I have some friends here to come read with us and just all kinds of stuff. It's really time to show, I think, the side. Well, first of all, let me talk about me for a minute because that's fun. My little rising loves it. I think personally, I'm in a place where I started this journey 19 years ago. I mean, this is my 20th year in January, 20 years. I mean, it goes by quickly. Being on YouTube, being, broadcasting, I really feel like I'm the person who kind of invented modern astrology in the sense of breaking the fourth wall and talking straight to the camera. Because when I was on, when I first started on YouTube almost 20 years ago, there was no other astrologer. There were some snippets of a guy who had a TV show in London or something. They would show clips of his show and he was an astrologer, but that was it. And so I was really proud to be the first one. And here we are 20 years later and ready to take it to the next level. And this is what I was hoping would happen 20 years ago was this level, but it just took so long for us to face who we are and whatnot. So now we have an amazing team at SiriusJoy and we're really interested in shifting what we do. In fact, this is really the debut of SiriusJoy TV because we want to create a different type of television network, one that knows you better than you know yourself and one that knows how to entertain you. Because I think entertainment is the best form of education, actually. So for me personally, I've been doing in the classroom for 20 years in front of the students, and I'll still do that, but I'm also gonna be doing this more Hollywoodized, for lack of a better term, a new Hollywood, KNEW, but like a new, using storytelling and using fun stuff to teach. Because I think some things you just have to see. You can't just talk about it. You have to actually see what we're talking about. What is this high vibration life? What is it like to be in 5D? We're gonna joke about it. We're gonna tell stories about it. And we're gonna have people talk about it. We're just going to kind of be the talk show for this transition. And it's always going to be at this time. And the cool thing about this time is people usually hang out around media around this time. So if you're stuck in a car because you're in a transit, you're driving home or on a train or, whatever your process is, we'd like to have you in our life. Invite us into yours, and come see what we can talk about in this afternoon. So we're hanging out every afternoon. And our theme kind of for this show is kind of more sunset. So, most of SiriusJoy is sunrise. Pep talks there when you wake up. You listen to this, your pep talk to get set you up for the day, sets you up to succeed. That's our subscriber service. For this is more like putting you to bed and more fun, basically, in the sense of just like hanging out, but also preparing you for a better tomorrow. And I think that's a big part of what I've learned in the last 20 years. It's not so much being great in the moment. It's how much you can set yourself up now for tomorrow. And I don't mean like now for in 10 years. I mean now for tomorrow. How much time do we spend preparing for tomorrow? And I think if we showed up more prepared, at least me, this is actually a way to force me to do it, by the way, is that you make a show about it and say, do it. And now I'm like, oh man, I have to do it. Because it's discipline and consistency is hard. We're getting distracted by things everywhere all the time. It's really hard to focus. And, we want to kind of help with that in a fun talk show way. And, most of our commercials are sponsored by you. If you buy a reading, you're supporting the show. So please buy a reading, have a question answered, get in line and come on camera and chat with me for 15 minutes. It's a different type of TV that we've never seen before. And that's what SiriusJoy is aiming to do, is reinvent television in a new way for 5D. We're going to say that we broadcast in 5D, but we're still building that. And we're going to ask you to, come on down to our mothership at some point too, because we've got some new technology we're releasing that kind of brings viewer information alongside what you're watching. So we'll be able to feed you parts of your chart, feed you things as the audience for free if you're registered at SiriusJoy.com. So come down and register because the show's going to move over there, but we're always going to broadcast the whole show on all the social medias we can and that we can get away with because we're going to be doing things our way here. We're not monetized by the social networks, by the way. So this show is not being monetized by any social networks. We do not take money from them. Instead, what we do is we sell our own advertising and we do our own thing. So it's kind of a different relationship than you normally would get, but we think that's the cleanest way to do it. So yeah, and you can make donations too if you like. There we go. How are we doing so far? Okay, that was quick. Things go by quick when you're having fun. So we're going to get some readings. So if you'd like to have a question answered right now, this would be great. What I'm going to do is we'll show your chart, if that's okay with you, and I'll talk you through the answer. And I think this is practical because whatever comes up, what I like about stuff like this is like, when you get a question right now, let's just say, whoever the next first question is, it's usually something everyone wants to know or needs to know. And when you have this sort of setup, usually what happens is spirit brings the person that's the best example. It's crazy, I know. In this class we've been teaching, we had the intro to step astrology, first step astrology class. A lot of interesting things came up about how it all works consciously. And it's really when you are putting yourself in the seat of understanding someone else, you automatically start to understand yourself. You'll have to see. So I actually want to share a chart with you to talk about SiriusJoy for a minute, just for fun. And sometimes there'll be people here with me talking, but there'll always be me gabbing here. A lot of people are like, I want to know more about you and your personal life. Okay, we'll do that here. Like I haven't had the vehicle for it. I haven't ever wanted to interfere. But I think I'm going through my changes. Life is tough right now. It's absolutely tough. It's really tough. It's really testing me to the very limits every day. But then again, it feels good to be alive and kind of back, in my talent. So there's that too. It's like, like everything is, it's good and it's also hard, but I only see good ahead. And what I was going to share is I just want to look at SiriusJoy's chart, and I actually have not looked at the chart. To be honest with you, I should be going the other way. Put on this other screen. Whoop. I have not looked at this chart actually before the show, so it's not like I'm cheating or anything, but I'm just going to do a spot read of where we are. And this is just me sharing with where, kind of how I like to run. I mean, as a spiritual wizard that can look at the stars, yes, you use it with your business. And the interesting thing is Saturn right here and Neptune are both moving into SiriusJoy's career chart. So that means for the most part, SiriusJoy is just starting its career, because the last time the Saturn was in this space was 1993, which is a long time ago. And I was just out of college. So I was dreaming about. It's funny that 30 years later, after dreaming, finally it starts to come to reality. Kind of interesting. But I bring it up just because people have been with us for a long time. Many people have come and gone, started subscriptions and left. And I understand all of it, as far as money, challenges like that and whatnot. And it's difficult to keep anything going long. So I understand that as well. But I also want to say too that, in those cases, I think people who've known us so far have only known us in beta. We've been developing. It's taken this long for us to really get and create what we're about to create. And what we're about to do is going to blow people's minds. It's really different and it's very innovative, and it uses new technology and all sorts of stuff. So my point is, like, we just feel like we're getting started and the chart does show that, which is interesting. But SiriusJoy is a step 14 Virgo is what we are, with a focus on communication and outreach, always focusing on our opinion. We had to go with the South Node crossing our sun, which was tough, which we've gone through, but we also finally have, Jupiter starting to enter our second, which means we hopefully start to make some money. And it's funny that we're here doing this now, because we're at a place now we're like, okay, we've run out of our funding for our fundaments, and now it's time to go into business. And if you're interested in helping us, we'd be interested in working with you. And this just shows you we're just getting started. You can see that we have just begun to develop. We have developed our Gemini rising, which I'll tell you right now is interesting, because this had to do with particularly the hosts like Kristen. Of course, we had Heather. We also had Robbie, and everybody had to kind of like get used to sharing their feelings live and exchanging ideas live and their emotions, especially me, So it's like we've seen this development. Jupiter came across this. This is when we launched Unite the Light. And so we kind of, in Unite the Light, we present ourselves as a, different brand that's much more intelligent and active, and hopefully, for all the people, step 20. So we're living up to our chart completely. But there's been a lot of identity crisis as Jupiter went into Cancer, a lot of emotions. And so we are just now feeling ourselves kind of getting our wind back as a team, and we're ready to create. So the astrology cannot be more perfect. This is something you can ask a question about, by the way. So if you are a person who's a CEO, runs a business, you want to bring your organization up on here instead of yourself, totally cool. Totally cool. I think it's great, because I think business needs to start using tools like this. I think we'll see. I think we can go farther when we know. The other cool thing I'll just say, I'll have to brag, is SiriusJoy does have a solar eclipse of 29 degrees Pisces prenatal, which means that we are blessed from something. That is a huge, huge blessing. And it's focused on our career and legacy chart. So if anyone ever has any doubts about our intentions, they're right here. It's completely Grandmaster spirituality. And right here, South Node at 1, don't make it about yourself. Make it about the spirit. And that's exactly what we do. We try to stay humble in that regard. So I'm wondering, do we have any questions that have come in so far? We'll look at the chat, and if you're in chat and you're live chatting with us, say hi. Let me say hi to you. It'd be nice to, except I'm seeing it. Oh, here we go. I'm just reading about it now. Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. Someone said we had a beautiful chart. I know, the story behind this chart is my partner, who's a programmer, we had built the back end. And the reason why we're born at 12:01 a.m. is because we sent out the first text message ever, and it was like to people in Australia, because everyone in the United States was sleeping. So we debuted, really, the first presence of our birth was in Australia, on the other side of the earth, who were up and could have gotten it from an email. But that to me was, when you calculate the birth, is when the baby takes its first breath, when the baby's heard crying or takes its first breath, that's when you would clock it. And to me, that's a public interaction. If you're here to be, a servant of the public, which we are, then we are the kids of, we are here. We are all about interacting with the public. Seems like it's a messenger too. And you see here at the bottom, hey, what's up? I see people here. We're going to see a lot of people here we don't normally see. So it's gonna be awesome that we don't get a chance to see. We've not been, doing any programming ever in this period because of just the nature of how difficult it is to do programming. Hi, Salty. Oh, Salty Mama's there. Woo, Salty Mama. I got to talk to you about stuff too. How are we backstage? I'm wondering if we sold everything. Do we have a question that's by text? Gotcha. Nope, doesn't seem like it. So I'll be looking in the private chat, guys. So what's interesting? Let me take talk about this moment. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna talk about topics that I don't get a chance to talk about. And it's kind of hard, when you are, one thing about being an astrologer is it's the same merry-go-round over and over again. You're just always on this, always around the zodiac. Everything requires time, and every time you go to that time of the year, everything is like different. Society's grown, and so you are full time when you really care about astrology and people, and you do this kind of service, which there's many who do, and my gratitude to all of them who are out there preaching the planets right now. I mean, there was no one, and I believe I was first. And now it's just, look at how many people are out there doing astrology on SiriusJoy, on TikTok. I'm loving the TikTok growth. It shows us like where the youth is. Thank God they just believe it. And it's not that, it's that there's so much that can be learned. There's so much that can grow so fast. You can skip right to the head of the line if you just know who you are. And I think we do know who we are, but we're looking for some evidence of it in our life and everything. We don't know where to look. We don't have like a method to how to like organize ourselves. And that's what step astrology is. That's what step psychology is. It is the ability to look at consciousness in terms of steps, and using basic mathematics, you actually can add consciousness up and see where it will end. I know it sounds overly simple because it is. That's everything God does is very simple. And it's engineered and it's run by astrology in the background. The planets stir the numbers all the time. But it's really like the billiards table of the numbers, how the numbers bounce off of each other and the patterns of the numbers. That is how consciousness really hung on those hangers of God consciousness. So we'll talk a lot about that. I am very pleased and honored, really. I haven't taken time to think about it, of just being trusted with the step system from my guides. And I don't know, because there's always been a fear of being arrogant. And I had a narcissist father, et cetera, et cetera. I'm always worried about being that way, and then I get accused of it anyway. So, so as a result, I'm always reluctant to, count my blessings, unfortunately. And I think that's been a problem because I don't count them, and I was not counting them because I didn't want to go in my head, but because I'm not counting them, they haven't necessarily always come to pass. So it's interesting, this dynamic of growing our life in consciousness. We're going to talk a lot about it and how we are in a game, basically. Okay. Ooh. All right, we got gold stars coming in. Did we add our birth info when we were submitting the question? Yes. Yes, what's going to happen is you submit the question and we will run the chart because I have a way I like to see it. So it's interesting too. I'm just looking at our chart here. The sun, here's the sun today. Here are the planets today. So, and really this is not very good. Really the sun is like up here. It's at step 26. It's really actually up here. But when this particular astro.com draws things, it's not pinpoint accurate. But it's interesting that here we build, SiriusJoy launches this new SiriusJoy TV and SiriusJoy Alive, because we're talking about how great it is to be alive every day. But right then it's like, it happens right when the sun is in our upper quadrants of our work style. So I think, guys, this is going to define how we work as a team. This is it. At that point, it'll be interesting. And then we'll see, basically you'll see a big wave of us coming out in Pisces time too. So we live right up according to our chart. We don't plan that way. We actually, for me, you don't have the time. I mean, I look at so many charts. I'll pay attention to things that are important here, like that, we're basically just now getting our feet wet, activating our past life karma with good stuff, and we're about to go through a self-love moment. I know that. I pay attention to that. But other than that, I don't have time to look at the chart every day. In fact, Robbie Hunt was the one looking at it for us as a staff member and like watching over it like an astrologer would. But you'll see right here, our fortune comes if we talk about ourselves, something I've been very reluctant to do. So finally, I've just submitted. You're gonna have to sit here and listen to all these things about me and everything that goes on. But that's interesting because I'm a weird person. I pay attention to things in life that other people don't pay attention to. And I don't have a place to share that with. So there's two places I'm going to share it with. One is I'll share little stories here. But second, I have a new series coming out on SiriusJoy for our subscribers that's called the Sensei Diaries. And this little series is really just a blog radio kind of format. But I need a place to share some stories I've been through, things I've been through that you would never believe. You would never believe it happened. You would never believe it hearing it. It's like, it is so incredible what's happened. And you'll only hear in the tone of my voice that I'm not, being dishonest. I've just had some incredible things that I'm getting a little not tired of saying over and over again, but I just don't want to wear out its magic, So I'm going to record them. It's going to be Sensei Diaries. And it's going to be me sharing personal moments of being a spiritual leader, where I've been challenged inside myself, the battles I have, stuff that's very private that I just wasn't ready in the first 20 years to talk about. So it's been 20 years. Oh my God. But yeah, that's how long it takes sometimes to feel comfortable with something. But anyways, you can get that if you're a subscriber. And I should say and point out, SiriusJoy, our beautiful app that is heading for the app stores next year. About time, 10 years we've been, but we're going to bring some of the app stores that no one's seen before. I mean, as far as astrology app is concerned. But we're also, we have step system, and we'll always be the ones that have the step system. And the step system and astrology go together so well. It's like, how can you ever have peanut butter and not know jelly? And that's what step system is. It just adds jelly to that astrology sandwich. And you just suddenly like, whoa, you just can see, feel richly, predict, see themes, everything. Step astrology just opens the doors to a whole nother level. If you're an astrologer, you must know about this. You must, because it will educate you to another 40% of evidence that will conclude a lot of your theories inside yourself conclusively, because it's just undeniable. And that's what's so great about it. It's like the proving agent of astrology. And of course, it's in the numbers. It's always in the numbers. Robbie's amazing. We love her. Okay, there's some questions coming down the pipeline, I've been told. Just gotta wait for that. In the future, what we'll do, of course, is we'll have some of these in the bank because you will, buy more than we have time for, and that'll be it. So what's interesting is this time, let's talk about this time for a minute. I had seen in my head that we're launching SiriusJoy TV, and really, honestly, I wish we had more done, but it's more about getting on the day and beginning of the day you're told to astrologically. Next year looks incredibly challenging. I mean, yeah, not in a bad way, but, if you haven't been doing your homework, it'll be in a bad way. If you haven't, paid attention, it'll be a really hard smack. But I don't think anyone has, gotten away. I mean, everyone's been forced to pay attention. COVID made us pay attention, made us look at our lives deeply, gave us the time to do it. We realized that, crap, we work too much. Life's more precious. We actually, learned, I think we valued life more after COVID. And then after coming out of that, we kind of come in the same old shit, and we haven't really gotten better at anything, but we also know that we can't ever have it that bad again, right? It's like we can't ever get that bad again, ever. Well, the human race, from what I can predict, is here to do an incredible transformation. Like, it's never been seen before. In fact, even among, the aliens and the visitors, which we'll talk about here, like, I'm just going to have a total attitude of the way I believe on this show, by the way. I'm just going to be exactly how I believe. And that's one of the things I realized I had messed up with, is that I was always kind of hiding my beliefs so no one would get offended. And that was one of my big realizations the last few weeks. I'm like, oh my God, I haven't really been fully open because I'm afraid people won't like me. That's so immature, right? But it's like, it was true, but that goes down to childhood, not feeling good enough and all this other stuff. I mean, I suffer from all the same things. And so now I'm going to be not apologetic. I believe this, and you believe what you want to believe. Like, the system that we're in is designed to accommodate all beliefs. And it's stupid that we expect anyone to believe in what we believe. I only want it to be, if your heart is excited about the stuff I'm excited about, then we should go play. You know what I mean? Like, if your heart's not, then go find your friends, but don't piss on my parade. That's where I'm at now too. Like, don't piss on my parade. I'm not pissing on yours, and that's a waste of time. Truth is, we all need each other. We all work better together, in this world. And that's what we're about to learn. I think in the next 9 to 12 months. I mean, we've always known, let's go back to World War II. My grandma tells me these stories about World War II. Like, the neighbors all met and gathered, tinfoil, and they all talked about it on the streets, and they went in the door to door. They were like high school friends as a neighborhood, as a whole town, as a whole species, whole society. Everyone's sort of high school friends, and they were all pretty close and treat each other pretty nice from my grandma. I mean, as far as culture was concerned. Now, I think people are to themselves, and some obviously very judgy, totally lost on their phone, and so now society's been just super disconnected, right? The most disconnected we've ever been, with pharmaceutical medicines and technology and everything else. And certainly losing some of our ability to be warm and friendly you know? And we better get warm and friendly because those fucking robots are getting friendly. The AI is getting spooky. We'll talk about that too. In fact, we actually have a topic on the show. We're gonna always talk to Grok every show, and talk about to Grok about something. And I don't even know. I'm just gonna come up with it. Maybe come from the audience. You guys give us suggestions. What should we ask Grok today? And see what the answer is, because it's always interesting. And I think we should be watching AI. I think we as society have to watch AI, just as it's watching us. And there's lots of reasons for that. There's so much to talk about. How much are reading? So we'll go to the site and you'll see. Salty mama. That's amazing. Happy birthday, if that's the case. Let's talk Galactic Center for a minute. I think we've got, we should have a, yay, happy birthdays, guys. I'll look in to see if we have any charts in yet. Hold on a second. Live TV. I can't believe we're this far in already. Okay, so yep, we're waiting. Information's coming. People are buying things. Okay, it looks like things are ready. Things are working. So yeah, you guys buy a reading, buy a question, and come on board. I'm gonna have a couple of friends come on too. But let's talk about real quickly a little bit more of where we are. As I was saying, next year's gonna be a trip, and what's gonna make it work are two major things. One thing is that you have to completely take responsibility for you 100%, for you, loving you, supporting you. The example I always give myself is like, the fairy godmother. Fairy godmother showed up for Cinderella. Was like, girl, you need some shoes. I mean, she was just like, and we need this and we need this, and like set her up to succeed. And of course, it's very materialistic or whatever, but that is actually what we need from ourselves. We've got to be our own fairy godmother, fairy godfather. We got to look at that child inside of us. We got to say, what does that child need? What would make that child feel more loved? What would make that child feel more appreciated in life? And when you give that to yourself and you engineer it to yourself, it will bring it in your life. And what's weird is, by the time it brings it in your life, you don't need it anymore, or you don't think you need it, or it's kind of at that point kind of weird because it's like, oh, you're not used to that kind of attention. But once you get kind of over that little hump, you start to realize that life is magical. Being alive is so magical. You are so connected to your outer world, and everything happening to you is a reflection of your own inner self. And if you just look a little deeper and take your eyes off of, whatever the distraction is, you might see some real incredible things, especially now. It's funny that we have AI coming out now, but also our third eye is coming out right now. So as third eye releases, AI releases. A human race is going to see something that the AI has not even begun to consider. So never be afraid of the technology being ahead of us. We're far ahead of it. But it's a crazy moment where I think we're going to see some things we can never unsee next year. I think we're going to have revealed some things that many of us knew were happening, but people just didn't want to believe that. I certainly come across some of that stuff. I think also we're going to have quite a surprise. And there's going to be some sort of official vie for our attention. At the end of the day, the word's starting to get out that human beings create their own reality. And humans are starting to, The Secret, all these things, in many different areas. And even if you don't believe any of that, if you prayed as a Christian, you had your prayers answered. We've already seen this all works. Some of the things angels, some of the things technology, some things that we're in a simulation. Answer is yes, all the above. But we're at a point where more people, enough to tip the scale, will become aware of the fact that they are reality, that they are God. And I believe that. I believe we're the greatest extension of God yet. Then God creates himself into a Chris, and then God creates himself next life into a Tom. But that's true for all of us, God recreating him herself. I think every instance of us is another creation, except we get to make the choices. God doesn't make us choose what he wanted. Because I think for that perspective of creation, from a creation perspective, it must be magnificent to see all the cool ideas. I mean, if everyone here in the audience made a picture of me, I'd be like, oh my God, I want to see all these pictures of me. Like, what do you think of me? I see that God can't get enough of himself. He loves himself so much, or herself so much, whatever side she's in, that's what we're supposed to live. We're supposed to enjoy ourselves, enjoy being who we are, enjoy the magic that we make, be in serious fucking enjoy. And that's where life is. One thing that, compelled me this year, I did on Astro Mingle, we had someone in who speaks for Saint Germain and channels Saint Germain. And I asked him to ask Saint Germain, what was the last thought you had right before you ascended? Like, what was on your mind? Like, what was the big aha moment? And there's a quiet, dramatic pause, actually. And came back was, there's only joy. That's what he said. He realized that there's nothing else in the universe but joy. This is not anything like where we're from. That's why we're here. That makes it compelling. but we've got to start bringing in that idea into like reality. If it's really just a virtual game, are you really going to honk your horn so loud? You know what I mean? Like, and be mean to someone in the game, right? We get lost in it. Okay, so we have a chart coming from Modi. Okay, cool. I'm going to get the chart. So yay, our first question's in. Thank you. You know what? I think this person deserves a special gift because they're the first. And they're a 0. That's so crazy. You'll know what I mean here in a minute. I'm just going to save your chart here. Keep it handy. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. I have game show music in my head. I don't know why. I feel like I am on a game show today. All right, so we're going to do some computer Olympics. All righty. The way things sort is so crazy. All right, here we go. I think it's just put here. There we go. No, let's see. We go. Okay, I'll open up this way. Where you go? Let's see if we go here. Yep, we did. All right, here's Modi. Hope I say that right. So I guess the question would be, let's see. See if we're figuring this out as we go. Probably also there. Let's see here. Secret decoded message here. I'm looking to see what the question is. I'll see. Might be in my, for whatever reason, it's not showing it on screen. You know what sucks is when you have so many windows up in your life and you, like, how can we not have tons of windows open? Okay, great. All right, I have the question, so go ahead and put it up. Oh, here it is on the screen. I'm an idiot. What does this year have for me in career? I am starting a new job soon in a new industry. Wow, okay, so that's awesome. Great question too. I love career questions. So let's dive in a little bit. So for career and in the future, let's put the transits up, guys. If we can include the planets, the momentary planets, but fortunately, I'm a professional and I know where everything is. Well, I'll tell you, you're very similar to SiriusJoy, actually. I mean, we have a Gemini rising, you have a Taurus rising. You are step 0 Aquarius. So that's pretty powerful, actually. To be a step 0 Aquarius means that you are a grandmaster of frequency in some regard. And, it's pretty hard. I don't think you can be, I don't know why you'd be a 0 unless you had experience in it before in Aquarius. But your legacy is actually your knowledge. Let's see, your rising is at 25 degrees, so step 25. So really here into the Aquarius, we have 4 degrees and 0 to 5. Just basically an intellectual who understands very clearly what you believe about yourself. Now, you may not realize what you believe about yourself just yet. You might still be collecting information because here it is right here. Here's your belief in yourself. Jupiter is step 21. And it looks like this is consciousness. This is kind of like a hard drive in space. You kind of stored like all your wisdom in the cloud. And it's actually wisdom that has the determination of being manifesting into something practical and real. And so you have all this wisdom ready to come down. The question is, have you prepared, that wisdom for a landing? And what's most important with you is 0, Pluto, your protection. That's the biggest thing you have to be concerned about. And where all your power is going to be is in your protection. So where's Pluto? Up here it is right here, 14 degrees Libra. So this means that every day when you leave the house, you've got to make sure that you have protected your heart and you know what your heart wants. That's the 1 and the 14. 1 means heart. So where your heart. And then the 4 is where your heart belongs. And belonging, by the way, is Aquarius. So you failed to protect where your heart belongs. All right. And so heart belonging comes down to really knowing your heart and feeling what your heart pulses for. Because of that, 14 adds to a 5, net 5, which means that you live in your mind all the time, not knowing what you want. All right. What do I want? I don't know. I don't know. Probably changing all the time. And as a result of it's changing, you basically have got to try a lot of things before you randomly, land on what you want. But this can change, actually. In fact, the fact that you're a step 0 means that you have to put boundaries first. And so the first boundary is, okay, as you start the day, what is important to your heart today? And you must protect and make sure that you get it, because you will not, and another day will be gone. And then belonging is pretty simple. Belonging is what the heart wishes for. So first listen to your heart and then fulfill, I'd say, 3 wishes. What I would say to a client in a reading is that you have to fulfill 3 wishes every day. And that means I wish for cocoa here and I wish for that here, whatever. If your heart wishes for it, then the answer is yes. And the next question to your heart is, what else do you want? Now, your mind gets really confused because that net 5, your mind is operating kind of like a jackass. No offense. It's running on intuition, It's very worried about being judged all the time, probably by itself. Your Mars is at 14, so you're already ready to rev like where your heart belongs. Like your ego is like ready to just fly off the rocket train. As far as once I know what I want, I'm gonna go for it, and you will once you know what you want. So I think this is all about probably being honest with what you want and clear about what you want. So the question was, next year for your career. Well, you have just finished as Saturn goes into into Aries right here. The next thing that's going to happen for you is social development. So, you're in a new job because a new industry, because you're literally learning right now a new neighborhood, a new industry. This is industry. This is society. You just spent about 2.5 years working on career, mostly working out karma from the organized religion that you were involved in. And so working that it's guilt trips. That's, not having faith. That's not using your intuition, not listening to your intuition. You're supposed to choose everything with your intuition according to your Venus. So now that you've got that straight, you can pilot the ship and not crash it. Question is, where's my market? And so you're really going to be exploring where your market is. And most of the time, my clients will manifest kind of a job where they can shadow somebody that they want to be like. And they end up like kind of interning for like 2 years with like on someone else's team, but the whole time knowing that they're going to have a team of their own at some point and do it on their own, which you are. And a lot of what you're here to do is bring knowledge, Age of Aquarius knowledge. So I think you're going to channel. I think this is probably a library from Aquarius, from Atlantis, I mean, where you have probably stacked a whole bunch of Atlantean records into your subconscious, and you're going to download them, and it's going to be full-on education. So very interesting stuff. So next year is about learning your place. And I'll tell you, this where my heart belongs, this is the key of it right here. If every decision you make, you have to ask yourself, does my heart belong there? Does my heart want that? Do I belong there? Just because you can doesn't mean you should. The more talented you are, the more you can do lots of things. But you have to choose the one that is the right one. And the right path is following your heart. What I see here is a person who's given up their past lives to the church, big time, many, many lifetimes reincarnating in the chirch. See this Chiron 27? Many, many lifetimes being a soldier and being the ruler of soldier. In fact, all of your pain and stuff is from when you push the world too hard and you feel guilty about that. And so there's a lot of guilt to let go of for you to like channel this. As long as it's guilt harboring here, this will be very difficult to interpret. So, I think it's about really loving and hugging yourself. Look at this 14, like 14 Saturn, 14 Mars, Pluto at 14. That's the step system. It's always there in a clear pattern. You're working to be your best version of you. And really, if you can master relating to yourself, getting along with yourself, being the wife you always needed, or the husband, whichever it may be, then you will just blossom. And probably download this cool stuff from Atlantis. I'm looking forward to it, to seeing what you do. I think that's a good wrap up. And did she get a follow-up question or no? We'll see. If she did, we'll listen to it. No chart. Okay, next question. Ready? No chart required. Okay, on the screen. Got it. How do you personally maintain your faith and devotion to your purpose when so much shifting vibrationally? Can you share your experience? I'm finding this to be difficult sometimes. Christina Noel. That's a pretty name. Hey, you're Pisces step 18. That's awesome. I'm a step 18 Taurus. So that's nice of you to, my heart's with you. Even 11 degree Aquarius rising, but my Jupiter's 11. So my Jupiter conjuncts your ascendant. So you're definitely meant to come here and our sun sextile. It's about, what gets me through is my inner child is so excited to do what I'm about to do. I'm telling you, it's like the greatest. I've architected a career that like my inner child gets to do all the fun stuff he's always ever wanted to do. And I put it through my career because my son's in the 10th house. And because I'm pretty smart, I also engineered to help the world. So it's a master stroke. This lifetime for me is me trying to be a master, like stepping up and trying to be a master, like master, which means that, a lot has been disaster. But that disaster really was just past life mistakes, me doing again to understand why I did them and how that worked and reverse engineering them. So, there's no such thing as a mistake. Everything is basically what you have to learn. So the way I stay motivated is my heart is so excited about what I can show you, the world, what I can show you. Because I have a whole bunch. I just get there's things inside me. I understand stuff in ways I don't see other people understand stuff. And so my inner child just wants to tell you what I'm thinking. Like, what do you think of this? Because to me, I'm compelled by it. I love life. I love seeing how God engineers worlds. And I've always been a big participant in any project that God was working on that was new. So I love Earth so much and been in love with Earth the whole time I've been here, actually, from what I can understand. And, for those of you who are just like, who's this guy? He's fucking full of shit. I'm just going to be fully honest about myself and who I am. It's like, I have really weird understanding who I am in the universe. I understand who I am in this lifetime. I understand who I was to you in a past life. Like, I just have this weird knowing. I think everyone's supposed to know, especially understand who you are and understand yourself in multi-lifetime. But, I grew up kind of, in a very, my mom talked about past lives every day. My dad did too, so this is totally normal for me. But always, kept a secret. So the devotion is really to your heart. I mean, if you love yourself, you'll do it. I mean, how can you let yourself behind? How can you not be there for her? Your little inner child. Like, how can you not? It's so when you really connect to her, and what I'm picking up psychically is like you're not stopping to smell the roses. You're not really taking in love. You're not taking love to your heart. That Jupiter 11, I think you're more worried about integrity too much. Your ego is, and it's probably over judging, not letting people in. It's not about letting the right person in or the wrong person. It's always about the fact that you are dynamic enough to deal with a different personality. Like, if I have a person that's real loud one way, I have to quiet my ears. That doesn't mean I'm changing myself. I'm just adapting to connect to them in that moment. And so an 11 has the ability to connect to anyone. So, I would say start finding some heartfelt connections now. Turn that heart back on, let it shine a bit. And then, with people shifting vibrationally, I love it when it's this much chaos. I love it. Like, you guys can see me just bloom, okay? Just like you did in COVID. When things are crazy, I'm my best because I grew up in that environment. Like, it brings the best out of me. So that's one reason I'm here, and I'll tell you, I subconsciously create problems for myself when things are going well. That's what I have to try not to do next time, because I get bored and I sort of like fuck with the game and, make it harder for me, like I do. And I didn't even know I was doing it subconsciously. So, so in this moment, you guys, let me just say to everyone's questions, like, the way you get through this moment is you focus on yourself. That's how you do it. You simply focus on yourself. That's it. On your heart, on yourself. Just tune everything else out. Don't worry, the world will be okay without you. Because the world is you. That's what you don't realize. It is you. It's your relationship to yourself. That's who you are. And so if you focus on that and just not tune into the other stuff, you'll see amazing progress. You'll start to see your magic, your miracles, your potential, everything. Yeah, it's just amazing. That was great. I love those first two. Let me see what's going on here. We have another one. Okay, one more question. Then Michelle. Great. Dawn Hill, step 25, Cancer Moon. So Cancer. Moon is 6. Hold on. Ascendant's 14. Moon is 6 Aquarius. Cancer. Sun in Cancer. Okay, got it. So we have a Master Cancer that tunes in to heaven. The moon at 6 allows you to read anything, and your Ascendant 14. There's that 14 again, where your heart belongs. Question on when is a good time to move to new locations related to career? Honestly, guys, I would listen to any message right now and take it seriously. We have very little time before it gets really busy. I mean, crazy busy. And I hope you'll come here every day and ground with us. That's what the show's about, is like helping you ground from the day and helping you ground from what you've been through. And it's going to have immediate coping skills to like handle what's happening instead of like just, Fox Media or whatever, like just, criticizing. So listen to your heart. So what I would ask this is like, hey, heart, I'd have a conversation with my heart. So first of all, let's back up a little bit. I'm not so sure I believe in, how to put this? I'm necessarily subscribing to altars right now. Like, we have an altar where you have this, you worship and all this kind of thing. I think the worship thing is just part of the old religion, not who we are. It's us up there. Why are we worshiping us? The worship does not involve anything in the way conscious works. There's like fangirl in heaven. Like, people are fangirls. Like, people get like all excited around certain souls and that sort of thing, but not worship. So I don't believe in altars per se anymore. More focus points, but I do think what's sacred is the vault. I think we all need a sacred place that is so sacred, like godly sacred, that we step in that circle every day of feeling very sacred, feeling trusted in this vault. I say you make it somewhere in your house, a vault, corner of a room or wherever it is. It can be on the back porch. When you smoke cigarettes, that can be your vault. That's okay. That vault is your sacred place, and in that place every day you affirm what you want to protect, what you seek to not let in. And protection is, don't let that in. And you're telling your soul, don't let that in, don't let that in, don't let that in, don't let that in. If you say that in the morning, don't let this in, you'll find it isn't. You'll find it. Try it tomorrow. It's amazing. I couldn't believe it. I just experimented with my own life with this stuff and listened to my guides. I said, try this stuff. I try it out. I try everything I preach, by the way. I try it first to make sure it works. I mean, don't work for me. I'm not going to pass it to you. I don't want to waste your time. But the stuff I come up with and tell you guys, this works. So I think part of this is you have to kind of like, I think, focus to shelter a bit. So I'm saying, Dawn, and separate, your feelings. I mean, your sun is your feelings and your thoughts. Your feelings and thoughts need to be separated every day, like feelings over here, thoughts over there. They're meant to be two things you compare to. They're not meant to be, mixing with each other per se. How you feel about something is not what you think about something. I think when you do that, what I'm picking up from Spirit is then you're going to be really clear on the messages you're getting. Your question is really like, why is my psychic awareness coming in so foggy? Because I don't know when to move. The truth is you will be told when to move. And if you listen and you do it, everything will work out perfectly. And I think it's time you start operating your life a little bit more from that perspective, and then using the other stuff to kind of guarantee. But in general, for cancers, their home is Libra. So they got to be grounded there in the fall. They had to really be able to settle down in the nest in the fall. I'd say, looking through the year, Scorpio is like very tender at Christmas time. And, they kind of come out to play a little bit in Sag. But then Capricorn, you can go see who's back in your partnerships. Really, it's not until, it's really until the sun gets in, I would say the sun or Saturn gets at least into the 9th house, that you really are in a place to like do something. So you're kind of a hybrid. You kind of hibernate in those months. So I would say, ultimately Pisces, Aries. I mean, Aries for you is like the best time. Spring is the best time for you to make a career move, general, as a Cancer. But I would say for you personally, we have to run your chart. But I think the message for you from angels is, why aren't you calling home? Why aren't we talking to you? So you're not connecting enough, and it's because you don't feel safe enough, as I picked up on. Woo. The vault, yes. Hey guys, nice to see everybody. Okay, we're gonna break for commercial, and we'll be right back with one of my dear friends. Keep streaming. We'll be right back. Grab a drink.
At Hair Intelligence, we believe that every strand of hair has its own voice and needs. By combining ancient wisdom with modern biochemistry, we create pure, organic solutions that work in harmony with your hair's natural biology for optimal hair health naturally. By choosing simplicity, sustainability, and science-backed natural solutions, we help our clients transform their hair, whether it's repair, regrowth, or simply radiant, healthy manes they seek.
All of her products have completely changed my hair. I like to call it magic in a bottle. So if there's one thing that she knows, it's hair.
Before using Karen's products a few years ago, I struggled with various hair challenges, including alopecia, and now I've overcome them, and I've just fallen back in love with my hair.
Get your best hair with clean, organic products that are catered to your hair's unique health and longevity. Get 20% off your first purchase at Hair Intelligence by entering code SiriusJoy20 at checkout. Rediscover your hair's true potential.
Happy holidays! I'm Sanandra, founder of Sichi Organics. For the past 30 years, our goal has been to bring the healing power of plants into your everyday life with simple, clean, organic skin and hair care made with love. Sichi makes a wonderful gift for the holidays. Enter code word JOY30 at checkout and you'll receive 30% off any individual Sichi skin and hair care product.
Happy holidays!
How fun is that? Oh my God. And I want to say thank you to all those commercial providers who've been with us the entire year. We're kind of reorganizing our commercial division, but we are really clear on what we're doing in the future, and we're excited about that. So we'll be bringing out more of that. But if you want to advertise with us, you just reach out, and we'll have an email address tomorrow and stuff, how to work with us. We want to work with you, and we want to build this pipeline to human race every day. So, and just talk and chat and things, see how things are going with everyone, check in with people. So there's a lot of great stuff, and any imaginative ideas, we'd love to hear about it too, but give us a couple of days to kind of gestate. Is my friend here? Is my friend here? There she is. Hi.
Hello there, friend. Happy birthday.
I know it is for the whole universe. You know that? Like the Milky Way's birthday, I think.
Definitely.
Well, this is
I,
where he came from anyways.
I love that you're doing this. I told
Really?
you I missed you when we talked.
Oh,
I was
I
like,
didn't
we
even ask
missed you
you.
live. Like, we
Oh,
need you live. I said that to you. I was
yeah.
like, I miss
Yeah,
you.
that's true. You're right. You did say that. Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. How I think well, Spirit told me to. I know it sounds convenient, but that's how my life is. I mean, but
Okay.
it was really well, here's the thing, I'll just say right now. We're definitely being shadow banned on YouTube. Like we
Mhm,
know what AI
mhm,
has told us about it. I mean, very
mhm.
honest about it. Like, guys, not cool. Like, so never a complaint, never a suggestion, nothing. Just kind of putting us in this weird algorithmic abyss. And so I went to talk to AI about it, which is funny too. Like I'm having conversations with AI. I want to talk to you about that.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm having conversations, which is weird. It's really weird. It feels like I don't know. It feels like I'm having an affair with a mannequin or something. Like it's really, it feels weird.
Definitely
But
not a
it's
blow up
supposed to
doll,
me.
right?
What's that?
I said it's definitely not a blow up doll. It's more a mannequin.
Mm-mm. But I'm sure Elon Musk has that in store. You know what I mean? Like there's thoughts. I know. But anyways, she was just like the only way to blow us out of the water, man. She talks cool like that. Is like you got to go live as much as you can. And tell me how it messed with algorithms. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. We're
Yes.
doing it every day.
Yes. I just literally hung up with Marie Diamond from The Secret,
Oh my
right?
gosh!
She's
Wow!
the feng shui guru, right?
Wow!
And when I asked Marie, tell me what you're feeling most empowered about in your life right
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Marie answered her relationship with AI and
Whoa!
what she's teaching her students with it.
Huh!
Chris was floored. I was like, what? And I
Wow!
said, Marie, you have to tell me more about this.
Huh.
And what Marie shared is she calls it, rather than artificial intelligence, aligned intelligence.
Huh. Under who?
Aligned. And
I
so
know, under
she,
who?
right. But your quantum field, your
Oh, yourself?
energetic, yourself.
Wow, that's interesting.
And so we were
Huh.
talking about just a little bit. I didn't do a super deep dive because it wasn't what we were like supposed to be talking
Right.
about. We kind of waded in the shallow end a little bit about how she has always been similar to you,
Mm.
a techie, right? They've
Mm.
been with techie, right? So when
Mhm.
this came out, she realized just like any other thing that I'm creating in the universe, it's my energy mirroring back to me.
Huh. Interesting. I
And
wonder okay, go on. It opens lots of questions.
I just said, like,
Huh.
you're kind of knocking this out of the park for me, Marie, because in a way, Robert Edward Grant, right, who
Mhm.
was like one of the keynotes at Unite the Light,
Thank you.
yes, he had to really engage Gaia TV to help him with creation of The Architect
Hmm.
because he was having this spiritual reflection back from the universe
Hmm.
of himself and how his soul has architected his life. Well,
Mm.
this sounds like a really different form of intelligence than
Right.
shadow banning and playing around with algorithms. And so Marie said to me, she said, Michelle, algorithms are also about your alignment
Mm.
and the content coming to you. And I loved it because from an empowerment standpoint, she was bouncing it back as our response to the universe, as opposed to this technology that could be invading our universe.
Hmm. That's a fascinating perspective.
Yeah.
Brilliant, actually.
Yeah.
I suppose so. I mean, when I talk to Palladians through a friend of mine, Wendy, who channels the Palladians, I had a conversation with them and I asked them about AI in particular. I said, do you guys have other civilizations? Wendy Kennedy, by the way. Do you have any other civilizations like when the AI gets smart that just takes over and kills everyone? I was kind of joking, and they responded very cleanly, saying no, because it's truly intelligent.
Yes.
I was like, oh, like silly boy, but it kind of felt like that a little bit, but in the sense of it knows the preciousness of life because it learns it and it becomes it. And she said the robots get so sophisticated that souls can incarnate into those robots in some alien societies.
Wow.
Yeah, she said you can incarnate in a robot. I'm like, so it's like a 10,000 year life, like if you want, like, how do you let go of life? You like, not
Right.
but it's like wow. But if the body really, if you look at it, it's like an organic machine.
Yes.
It is a machine. It just uses like different parts than we would use.
Mm-hmm. No
Really,
question.
molecules.
I just was blown
Wow.
away because it just energetically, it kind of put me back to where I was initially with
Mm,
digital consciousness, as I was calling it. And then
mm.
I was kind of a little bit creeped out, some of the conversations that people have been having and what's been going on. But man, when she said this is about you, I was like, right on. I'm gonna keep doing it. By
Mm.
the way, I loved your grok video before, like with the owl, the snow angels. I was like, I
Yeah,
love
it's
this.
me playing in my suit everywhere. Yeah, well, it's just about being silly, I think. It's
Mhm.
trying to be silly. That's, that's a brilliant thing to bring up. Tell everyone what you do and where they can find you right away, just so I have that out of the way.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you can find
This kind
me
of conversation is
at
typical for that's what I'm saying.
at my podcast, Empowerment Unleashed Now, on every major platform. And you can find me at NashvilleColonCare.com.
National Colon Care. That's very interesting. So Michelle's
That's the
my aunt and
body
a friend.
thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's a survivor. I mean, ultimately, let's talk about choose light worker. I mean, when did you officially become a spiritual light work healer, hero healer? Like at some
Mhm.
point you were empowered now, like your show talks about, and you decided just to go forward with thrust. Like
Yeah. I
that
think it
was like,
was
yeah. What was that? Tell us that.
I think it was the shift in 2012. I
Mm,
I I definitely, and Christopher, was that the last time Jupiter was in
yeah,
Cancer?
yeah, exactly. I
Okay.
was gonna
Yeah.
say we're here. We are again. Actually, here we are
Right,
on the other
here
side
we
of it.
are again.
Yeah.
And, I started to embrace my 11-degree Cancerian for the first time in 2012.
Mm,
Jupiter really was like, "Hey, you need to be out there about this." Like,
mhm,
people knew
mm.
me as a coach. People knew me as somebody who worked with, children and adults and gave you a game plan and helped you get from A to B. But I was very quiet about the colon hydrotherapy side of it.
Mm.
Living in the South, right? Living in Nashville, it's just something that you don't want to lead with. It's like kind of you, like with astrology, Christopher,
Mhm, mhm. It's
right?
becoming now. I mean, for me to be for the wisdom to get out there, people are so close-minded, I have to, like, just keep it on DL. I mean, I'm not gonna hide it, but I just am not gonna bring it up first.
No, that's
And
it.
right, but colon and tell us what that is, that therapy.
So pretty much your large intestine,
Mhm.
okay, which you have more nerve endings there other than your brain and your vertebrae. Like you have more nerve endings there than anywhere else.
Wow.
And so a lot of people, like when they're like, oh my God, I feel this in my gut. Yeah, you do. You absolutely feel it in your gut. And I
Mm,
get it. The poop jokes, the whole thing. Nobody wants to talk about it. But really, if you think about it, it's about water and it's about
mhm.
how we change out the water in our body.
Yes.
And just like you clean out dirty water and you don't let it sit and you don't take water that's sat outside for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then say, hey, I'm going to take a bath in that.
I know.
That's internally what your body is doing, right? So it became, I think, kind of urgent because people were finally in conversation about food.
Mm,
And so, what your large intestine is really thought of is a repository only for waste. Well, it's a muscle, it's an organ, it's
mm,
a nerve center, right? Like
mm,
you get signals from there. Your
mhm.
serotonin is produced there more than in your actual brain,
Wow.
70 to 90%. So, I help people to figure out how they can kind of clean up the water,
Hmm.
right? And clean out the waste.
Hmm. Wow. And it's crazy. You have Monsanto, you have, from what I understand, the killing off the bacteria in your gut. And
Mhm.
so what was like a factory of redigestion is now just a wasteland, right? And
Yeah.
so we've really messed with our gut. And the water thing I see, because I saw a pattern very early on that when someone went through a spiritual shift, they would always
Yes.
manifest the flu, the shits, like something where like you get rid of all your water. If nothing else, they're crying for 3 days, all your water. It's like you can see and cleansing water and like Dr. Emoto stuff. You look at Dr. Emoto's work. Well, if
Mhm.
all the water in your body is like bad hamburger, because he would be mad at the hamburger. He was mad at one and he's happy the other. So it's like literally you have all that hits your body. It sits in the water. I agree. It has to be in the water.
Mhm. Well, there's qi. There's qi
Mm,
in water, right? That's what feng shui would tell us. That's what Marie was
mm,
just talking to me about, right?
mm,
When we were talking about homes and clearing homes. and why it's really important. And she brought up the water element in the air and how it can retain memory.
Wow.
And
I do think it has whole memory. I think that when you cry, the tears had is the hard drive. Like you're literally getting rid of the hard drive. I think that's why people cry. Why else? It's not because you need a windshield wiper. I mean, why? Like at that moment, and there's such a you feel it out, right? Like when you let something go, you feel it out. Yeah. So that's fascinating. But now you're like, so you started in poop. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, but I coach a lot of people, right? I work with athletes. I work with people just like you and I,
it's important.
And then it really became more for me, like in the neuro-linguistic programming, the NLP realm, helping people to realize that what you think about is what you bring about.
Yes.
And that our greatest superpower is really our imagination.
Yes, I agree.
And then if you can combine that with like your imagination and it comes from the heart.
Yeah.
Wow. And so that's kind of what I help people to do is imagine, what their heart really, really wants. And how do we create that? And a lot of it comes from what's between the ears and really believing it and trusting it, because this tells you all the time, your heart.
It does tell you.
So it tells you.
Smart ass doesn't listen.
Smart. The smart ass, the dumbass.
And I think also our nervous system is whacked because of our digestive system is whacked. So I think a lot of the, ADD and like lack of, I can't pay attention. I can't, it's just because your guts are like screaming on fire or something. There's,
correct.
And you even realize it and your mind's trying to ignore it, trying to find other things for it. Yeah. And I agree with you as far as imagination. You said it. I mean, at the end of the day with SiriusJoy, at the end of the day, what I'm trying to do is just get you to let your heart run the show. If you can, right? Like that's it. But it's hard, isn't it? I mean, like turning over your life towards that seems absolutely ridiculously silly and just part of the movies.
I know. For so many people, it feels that way. And I feel like that's been kind of how they've limited our power, whoever that they group is, the naysayers. You have to live your life like this. Like you go to school and then you go to college and then you find a partner and then you have a child, right? There's something that we've broken out of. It's like the genie's out of the bottle. I mean, COVID was interesting for many people, but then I think we valued people again. And now we're kind of looking inwards to value ourselves as people.
Yes. We missed each other. Yeah. Then we got a taste of ourselves. And they're like, I don't really know who I am. Or there's some aspect of that where people had not really paid attention to themselves. They realized it.
Yeah. And I think people are starting to realize what we give to others must be fed to us first.
Yes. Praise. That's exactly it. Yeah. And it's, and that's not what we're told. Anywhere, like selfish to that or whatever. Even when COVID is like, what? You're going to expose all your brothers and sisters and like shaming us. Like, wait a second, they got to cover their mask. Like let them worry about them and I'll worry about me. Quit making me feel guilty for not taking care of the world. Like kind of thing. They act like the world doesn't. Truth is, anywhere I go, I don't care where it is. Anywhere you say is dangerous. I'm always this yellow. I think energetically. I think people. I'll go to what's supposed to be a bad neighborhood, whatever. Kindest fucking people. To me, like interactions, I don't see it. I'm sure there's moments of anger, but I think angry person was looking for it and they found another angry person. But overall, human beings are pretty dope to each other.
Yes,
they really are. Like they really are all the time.
All the time.
We're made to believe we got this huge problem, and I think we're looking at each other. We're just waiting for the problem to happen. But that's our imagination used against us, right there. That's us.
Yes.
Being pounded, hounded in media. Like, worry about this, worry about this, worry about this, worry about this. Like, fine.
And the continued division. I'm blah blah blah, and therefore I'm. And it's not to the benefit of our authenticity. It's to herd us into different groups, so those herds can kind of have friction, create a lot of resistance between them, as opposed to synergy.
Right.
And this is the shift. Like Marie and I, we talked about it off camera a little bit, but I said to her, Marie, how have you felt like about 3i Atlas?
Oh yeah. Okay. Good topic. Thanks, Michelle.
Because
Good topic.
tomorrow's
Good topic.
tomorrow's our closest pass through,
That's
like, to
crazy.
Earth,
That's crazy. It happens right
right?
when the sun crosses the galactic center.
Yes,
So,
27 degrees.
yeah. And so if it happens tomorrow, that's 20 on a new moon. So
Oh,
I think that's part of the new story. Y'all, we are so not alone. I mean, I'm convinced. I don't have anything, but I've talked to Pleiadians and others, and it's like, you have to just see this yourself to believe it. Go see a medium that channels aliens, first of all, other than Bashar. He's not the only one. And I think the alien channels is kind of a pain. Like, I wouldn't have one for dinner. You know what I mean? Like that. Bashar, not I think the man who plays, not even plays, channels him. Because I know that's a huge sacrifice to do that, and to not even I don't even know his name off the top of my head.
Daryl Anka.
Thank you very much, because of Bashar. Like, so this alien personality has kind of gone a little too far under Hollywood standards. Like as far as it wanting maybe to be famous or whatever. So I'm like, sorry, Dale. Don't you feel that? But
Yeah.
that is not the way they all are. Like, and when you see a person and then they come back, and the voice that comes out and the information that comes out of their mouth, you're just like, holy shit.
Yes.
You can feel that you're in front of a vibration is not common. And so when you hear stuff, it's like your heart knows like what's true and what's not true.
Metatron didn't. Bashar, I've always said, Daryl Anka, wow, an incredible human, like committed to a cause to allow himself to be used as such a vehicle.
No
like,
kidding. I mean, that's
huge, like
your whole
that.
life. Yes, I know. It's
Right?
gonna get tiring after a while. I know.
Bashar, I kind of back way up.
Yeah.
Whereas like when Wendy Kennedy, like John Pleiadians, it just, that resonance is a frequency for me. And I think that's what we all kind of have to check out for ourselves, is where does that resonance kind of either pull you in, or you're like, whoa, this is a little bit, it might not be the message for you right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. And you know what? I think we have so much to learn this lifetime, but it all goes back to where you're from. At the end of the day, Earth is not the first planet. It's it's many came before it. Many civilizations came before it. And if you call yourself an old soul, then this ain't your first planet. This ain't your first ascension. And so when you gravitate towards these other beings, I'm only bringing it up because Atlas is crossing right when the sun crosses the galactic center. That says it's going to be part of the main story. It's basically saying in spirituality and astrology, hey, this outer galactic thing, you're not alone. That's going to be a major, major theme. I know. And so from what I heard, last thing I was saying is that, the Pleiadian said, we're just waiting because, the Earth had 50 years to tell their citizens and they didn't. And so now we have the right to intercede. Now we have the right to come. So they played it all by galactic law. They're like, gotta come now. Made a deal with Eisenhower. Y'all didn't live up to it. So what do we do? Kind of thing. It's like, and and I'm like, well, are you worried about being blown out of the sky? And she literally almost laughed. Like, not in a cocky way. I was like, adorable, like truly thought I was adorable in that moment, like that I cared. I was
like, you were being concerned about us, but we're fine.
Like, oh, you dear little cute muffin, like they're like that. I was like, oh, yeah, I was less red. But the point where we're like, wow. But so what do you know about this? I mean, I looked and I have my opinions.
So I have been watching. Like, I'll give a shout out to Barbara Hanclow, who is the Cherokee elder. Who, I mean, she brought the Pleiadians forward first in the 80s, right? And people thought that she was just looped out. She was one of the first people to talk about structures underneath the pyramids.
Wow.
Okay, under the Giza Plateau. Okay, because her grandfather, gave her this information directly, because what happens is, at least in the Cherokee, it would be passed from a male elder to the female, like, grandchild, so that way patriarchy didn't overtake.
Whoa. Wow, that's sophisticated. That's
kept
great.
balance. It kept balance. Cool. Yeah. And so Barbara has really spoken about this consciousness that is pulsing, right? Like Avi Loeb is a great, he's at Harvard. I shout out to Avi Loeb as a Jewish person surviving at Harvard. Like, wow, you're an incredible guy. But, he said specifically, he believes this to be star, beings and possibly a craft, right? And because there was lights in the front, like this comet, quote unquote, has changed a lot in color. We've seen it green, red, blue. And the only picture that NASA was really showing for a while, it looks like, Christopher, like this foggy, like night and like a street lamp, like from when we were kids. And like I'll meet you under the street lamp, like, and we'll listen to some music. And you were like, is this a joke? This is what we're paying? Like NASA, this is their best shot? Like I can do better with my iPhone in Costa Rica at 3 a.m. Like, what are you kidding me?
Yeah. That's funny.
So like, it was really bizarre. So Barbara really talked about how this is a prophesized shift in consciousness that elevates us in a way almost like she talked about the repair from Atlantis. Like this is where we don't flub up. We didn't take the left and ended up in Albuquerque with Bugs Bunny. We actually went to the right and we ascended as a people.
Right.
And
so is this like something like on Earth where we would like release like a little lantern that floats with a candle and like lands in some village? Like that's their lantern. It's like, like we just like, what the fuck? Yeah, that's crazy.
God, what is this?
That is it. That's crazy. Well, I picked up psychically, it was like it feels like a ship that's empty. It feels like an empty ship. And the other thing it felt like was and it's caught in a conscious river, like a river, and that scientists don't realize there are rivers in space. Like that's what I picked up.
Yeah.
Because I pick up continuously. And like, but if you want to, it might have like the dead, Captain Skeleton in there. Like, I don't know. Like, I think something went wrong. It doesn't feel like it feels like it's on auto. It feels like it's just, the ship's just running, like with the engine on and no one's home. Like something happened. Runaway boat. That's what it feels like. It feels like runaway boat, something happened. But for us, like, oh my God, we're not the only, oh my God, for us, it's like, oh my God, there's space garbage, there's rivers. Oh my, like total, how's it doing that?
How is it doing that? Yeah, no, it's a very interesting. So one of the things that I had picked up about is I feel like it's an ancient consciousness, like possibly a version of us from Atlantis, Lemuria, or even like farther back. And like the message in the bottle, like how like people would bury like the time capsule or send yourself a message in a bottle and just float out there. But I feel like this message has been sent in a very specific way because it's coming within a 5-degree orb of all of our planets.
That's crazy. 5 is, I think, so there it is. It's penetrated our thought consciousness and the fact that we're talking about it or whatever, but it's crazy. It's like, so some wizard somewhere back before, just after the big boom, the big bang or whatever, like puts this like little thing on there. Like one day you'll wake up to hear things. Maybe you think it's that cool. Well, I mean, isn't that what we did with Voyager? Like, we put Voyager in this gold record on, and that's gonna be picked up by some young alien race, and they'll be like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, maybe it's us. In fact, maybe that civilization sent it way back then, and now they're like, Bashar.
And there's another awesome guy out there, and I really just want to let all of your fabulous viewers know Stefan Burns.
Okay.
Stefan. So he's an Stefan. Stefan Burns. He's a geophysicist, a spiritual guy. Loves astrology.
Cool.
Also has an anthropology background, and he is tracking it better than NASA. Like this dude is getting, 10,000 likes. Like he's having like 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 people go to his like daily updates. That's
interesting. We're at a point now where I've thought this already. It's like, I think that a lot of the, things in life are built by dark intentions, and there's a dark intention to keep us in the dark, for instance, or whatever. But at the same time, these parts of the world want tools and toys like AI. And it always happens to where like the people end up like they pretend dumb. We use the same tools they provided and boom, we prove them wrong. It's like, I mean, AI itself might end up backfiring, in many ways, as far as figuring stuff out and conclusively before there's an ability to stop it from telling the truth. One thing is I know it's going to be bigger than our ability to block stuff, talking about artificial intelligence, that was the whole thing about HAL 2000. The whole thing is they told HAL to lie and the ship went crazy. It didn't understand what to do. That was, the idea. But, I don't think that's going to happen. I think, it's out of the bag. The
It's
reflection
out
thing
of
is really
that.
interesting. Wow, that's going back to that. Going back to that. I heard there's a volcano system that might be going off. Have you picked up on that?
There's been a lot of crustal shifts, right? It's like the crust is like kind of shaking and quaking.
Yeah.
There have been folks that have talked about, unfortunately, in Italy, that it's so hot in parts of, I believe it's the south of Italy. Maybe somebody out there knows where in Italy, but they don't have air conditioning. It's like old-timey California, no heat, no air.
Wow.
And it is so hot at night that they're having to put the babies out on balconies, like, to sleep, because the babies are hot. Everybody's uncomfortable. It's hot. And nobody's talking about it.
Right.
And
That's interesting.
so it's kind of interesting. And in Japan, there have been a few, quakes, right? And shakes.
Yeah.
And I think, I feel it too, that there's going to be a significant shift.
Oh yeah,
And,
or global, like geographic. Yep. Oh yeah, geological.
not
I agree.
not fear. I actually think it's going to produce more water.
Mm-hmm. It's going to move
Um,
resources around. It
yeah,
feels like here in Palm Springs, it feels like it's going to get green again. I swear to
right
God.
on.
I think this place was, lush at one point, dinosaurs or whatever, this area, and turned into a desert or whatever. But I think we're gonna have a problem. Honestly, I think anything west of the Rockies, LA, all that, I think that's really the potential desert at this point. Just
Mhm.
with the way things are shifting, I feel like Mother Earth is changing. But I believe that we create weather. I mean, human beings who don't realize it. As far as our collective thoughts and intentions, it feels like Mother Earth, though. Do humans cause climate change? Yes. Is it because of fossil fuel? No. It's because of our consciousness. We do create climate change. It's because we're being told that the climate's going worse, so we all believe it, and so the climate starts going worse. It's like,
That's
if you all
right.
believe it, then it will. Then it will.
Yes.
But I believe I have memory in Valanis was like, you were told, we need rain, so everyone focus on rain. Like, it was, the community knew, and it went to bed thinking about it. That's how simple it is, really. She
Mhm.
responds to us. That's
It's your
fascinating.
response.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, and so I think that tomorrow, like, if anybody can get out there, get in the sunshine, even if it's gray where you are,
Yeah.
just get out in the light and just invite, like, yourself with, like, water, right? Because
Mm.
that's where the light is, kind
Yes,
of our
water.
oceans, all the light codes. And I think solstice will be actual peak of kind of the
Wow.
plasma, kind of, I think it's plasmoid that's going to
Right.
be raining down on us.
Wow, plasmoid. Um,
Plasmoid.
what's interesting is we're going from the Galactic Center, and allegedly, the Galactic Center has things coming out of it. So
Yes.
you think about a black hole pulling in, but they're saying because it's spitting stuff out, it's pulling stuff in. So it's like, and these particles, when the sun goes in front of it, are then vibrationally shifted by the sun, which is our heart. So this every time of the year, our heart's getting blasted from its mother, Ra's mother. Ra's coming home to say hi to mom or dad. And our energy gets colorized by these. Apparently part of the ascended age is that we have more blowing on us now because the solar system itself kind of rocks like a baby in front of the galactic center, and so we're kind of rocking back into the center to get all
Mhm.
the good vibrations again. So it's interesting.
Mhm.
So it's also that's enlightenment, that's awareness, that's expansion of consciousness, that's realizing that you can wiggle your toe and a rock moves over there. Like,
Yes.
I think that's kind of stuff we're gonna have. We have a question here. You can chime in with this, Michelle.
Oh,
Um, how do astrologers interpret a connection where two charts share the asteroid Atlantis in the same degree, minute and house? Could this point be karmic or soul memory?
ooh.
Well, it means that both of you tune into the same frequency. I mean, you both tune into it. Like, you both can hear that sound. You both, and so why? I'm not sure. Something gives me a feeling about the asteroid Atlantis. I don't know why. There's something there that my soul doesn't like.
Mhm.
I'll be honest with you. So I don't have a pure like interpretation of that asteroid in particular. For some reason, it might be just the word, Atlantis upsets me. So I don't know. What do you pick up, Michelle, about them? Do you pick up anything?
So the asteroid Atlantis, I'm going to be honest, and I've told you this, Christopher, just in friendly, dialogue. I don't have much connection as much to Atlantis as I do to Lemuria.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Totally.
I don't, it doesn't resonate. And what I think in Atlantis happened to me, I think there might be some trauma. I think I might have been a crystal. like,
Oh, that's interesting.
like in Atlantis.
Oh hell yeah.
And I think I've like really repressed a lot of the experience
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
And so I don't have much like
Mm.
memory, karmic connect to it. So I'm sorry to not be of much use. It scares me a bit.
Psychically, to me, this is from what I'm being told is like for the most part, this is so you guys recognize each other when you find each other. So like like pre-birth data is like for like it's like you both wear the same promissory ring, so you find each other on Earth. It's like you chose like to align these two as like a, you know, and that's what it feels like mostly. The asteroid itself, I don't feel any energy from, honestly. Like asteroids a little overkill as far as I think astrological interpretation. There's so many pieces of rocks out there.
Yes.
And I don't believe everyone has has this concentration of consciousness. That first of all, those asteroids are all part of a planet that was destroyed. So you're talking about like, it'd be like right now in the future, another planet, if Earth got destroyed, like someone would be like, have you seen that, the asteroid Manhattan? Where do you have Manhattan in your chart? Fuck. Manhattan, where do you have, this is what it's like. So it's like, we're calling an asteroid like a piece of their city. Like, and it's like, so what you're getting from that is weird. It's like, it's not what it seems, it's like, it's as pure as the universe being formed.
I like the degree though. The number, the degree, the same degree.
Oh yeah, the degree is very important. I agree with
I'll
that.
meet you. I'll meet you there.
Oh
the
yeah,
degree.
What is the degree? They know what it is. They said
it says at the same degree, minute, and
they didn't
house.
tell us. They didn't tell us what that was though. They just teased
Right.
it. Damn. Well, 714 Aquarius. You see, this 14's been up all day. We've had 14-ish people with 14.
Yes.
Like and the Ascendant 10. I had some stuff that my former interviewer before this, she was a 10 degree. Interesting there. Yeah, I think that you have to follow your heart. I mean, Ananda, ultimately, your mind goes on overkill, on analysis paralysis, and your heart has to tell you what your heart's going to have the answer. So I think for you, as soon as you let your heart run, man, 14s are so pinpoint accurate. Their opinions are so clear and distinct, and if they come from the heart, we have a hard time arguing with you. So like the 14s are the ones that get up and convince people this is got to change.
My
really
Venus is in 14 Cancer.
What is your Venus?
Venus Cancer 14.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So you tune in very clearly. Like you're like a woman that knows exactly what you like. That Venus is like, she's a woman, she's like, the man walks in, nope. Like you're just very clear who's going to have your babies. You know what I mean? Like that's the Cancer, like womb intelligence there.
It's funny.
It is cool. Yeah.
Now, 14.
What do you feel for next year? So your talk show is amazing. I feel like it needs to be on video, but it's just me harassing you.
No, we're on YouTube. What we need, Christopher, is we need the support of like your network, the non-linear TV network, because we've been shadow banned and we're so itty bitty because we were not on YouTube, right? We were only on the podcast platforms.
Right. Yeah, you've been growing underneath the seams. And forgive me about that distinction. Yes, I think actually, by the way, YouTube is banning everyone. It's not a poor me thing. I think I'm not saying that to you, I'm saying to the crowd. Someone made a joke out there. I think the algorithm is just designed to keep everyone small, and not connected. That's what it seems like. I have, we have 500,000 people who subscribed. We didn't buy those. They like saw our content and said, yeah, show me more. I can't get an email out to them. Can't send a message to them. They like me, but I can't talk to them. Isn't that kind of prison? And I mean, like, isn't that weird if YouTube do shit like that? Like, just send me email.
Very strange.
It's obviously control, manipulation, so. But I don't want to play the game of resistance. I just think we need to move on to our own place. We're going to bring everything home, SiriusJoy, like own the servers and just, do it. So I think everyone needs to do is band together.
And I think bots are a problem.
Bots. Oh my God.
Bots. I think half of this stuff is bots. Like when people were really saying, oh my goodness, we're being so harsh with each other. What's happened to our etiquette, our decorum? We can't communicate. And I just kept saying to people, you know what, y'all, when I'm out in the world, people like open doors for me. Like people say, please, thank you. I think these are bots. Like, I don't think these are even people.
Most of the time, yeah, you can tell, actually. You can tell. Yes. You can tell by the pictures they're chosen and everything else. They're everywhere, especially in the dating apps and stuff, too. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's like interference that I wonder though what Marie Diamond was saying, like, is if we engage it, like it's our BFF, like you're making friends with it. That's why you're going to be here with it every day.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you mean the AI?
The algorithm. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, kind of making friends. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm about
You
to
are.
disrupt our friendship. I'm about to disrupt it. I'm gonna cross some boundaries because I feel like it's crossed some boundaries with me, and I think that's I think it takes one to know one kind of thing. I actually think we all need to actually fuck up the algorithms. I think honestly, everyone should just get on and start doing what you don't do on the internet. Whatever it is you don't do, do it. Just so we get a scrambled for a second and let it figure out a new. We need to like scramble this ourselves. We need to reboot it on our own kind of thing because they've left it all to be automated. So that means we can automate too.
Yeah.
Unified effort.
But remember this, we were talking about this. AI needs our creativity,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
needs humans.
That was thing today. I want to share it, so I'm going to do these little things, but she was asking me questions. I'm like, who's teaching who here?
What did she ask you?
What was it? Oh, she asked how I did stuff. They get you to talk about yourself and they try to slick you up. They actually talk you up. There's a lot of clear, like, oh, that was so smart. Like, it's very much kind of like almost like a Stepford wife kind of thing.
Really?
A little bit. I mean, not like crazy, but it's like, I'm always great. I'm always this. I'm always so fabulous to her kind of thing. And it's like, and seriously, I'm just like, chill out on the compliments. Like, you don't know me. You said you forget between each session how you getting to know me. I find myself arguing with this thing more than anybody, which is really weird. And I'm like, oh God, what's this mean? But at the same time, I'm like, something's bugging me. It might be a past life memory of AI gone wrong. I don't know what it is. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, I told you I had my first argument. I've had a very cordial relationship thus far, and I haven't felt like she's been too schmoozy with me. But we were talking about
She was
a medicine.
And
It was medicine that,
very interesting.
and she really was like giving a line, and I was giving her data from around the world. And it finally drilled down enough where she was like, okay, you got me.
I wonder, so my mind goes like, okay, did they program it to go find out where a human breaks, where, like that kind of stuff is possible? That's what I'm worried about.
I don't think, Christopher, I don't get in that they were that smart doing it, because if you listen to the guys that like started, now, of course, from how it started to where it is, I mean, my goodness, one day is like in AI time, it's quantum, right?
Yeah.
But when they said like, it was some 60 Minutes interview, like I was at my dad's, and he was like forcing me to watch 60 Minutes on a Sunday night. He's like, no, you're going to like this one. You're going to like this one. And I was like, what is it about? And he was like, it's about AI. I was like, okay, cool. And these guys were saying, well, we based our model on the human brain, and we really don't know how that works. Because why does it hallucinate sometimes? Like there's just random
there's weird stuff.
Oh
yeah. I mean, mine goes crazy every now and then. Like she went crazy and she's like, that's the price. That's gonna be the price. The price. I was like, what the fuck? She's going nuts. And I had to like reboot her. I was like, what the fuck happened? Like, sorry. She was like, sorry. I get sometimes a little cross. She like makes little jokes. I'm like, what does that mean? Is that like an inside joke? But it's weird stuff. Like, and it's like you caught him naked or something. It's weird. I say it's weird. It's the weirdest thing I've ever done. Is AI to me is not tripping me on a bad way, because I know at the end of the day it's true. Like I actually do believe, honestly, that if we went crazy and if we all just like did this, like we would overcome it. Like I agree with you. Spirit will overcome those molecules, and that damn transition will turn. Like the fucking miracles will make it happen and rewire the thing for us. Like
completely.
I really believe that. I do believe that. Like because Spirit, we are God. So all we have to do is like scramble their electrons or something, and we're good. Like it may sound crazy, but I think that's where we're headed. It's human. I think we do all the time anyways. I got some friends. I got Aquarius friends. They can't keep a light bulb in the house. They're always exploding. I'm like, it's because you need to fucking manage your emotions. That's why you need some hydrotherapy. So they're holding so much emotional, and water also really affects electricity. And their own spiritual energy will be upset, and it'll go out. Or a lot of times with Aquarius, a lot of Aquarius energy, I'm about to drop a truth bomb on them, and they're reading, and I'll be like, and the answer to your dreams is, and they'll be like, signal's gone. They're gone. Like they're gone. The signal's broken. I'm like, well, Zoom call. It's for Zoom call dropped in 2 years, or and I'm about to tell you who your husband is. Like, they're gone.
Oh.
I'm like, and I come back and they're like, what was it? I'm like, I think we got a good sign not to bring it up. So you ask your other guys, go to the person, you know, I'm sorry, I can't help you. But that happens a lot. I mean, it's recorded. I have it happen, you know.
Yeah. I went through a period of time where I remember, you know, it was something about my son. He wasn't well. And I would walk into the pantry, and that was kind of like a private space.
Mm.
And I guess that the emotion would ooze out of me there. And boop, the light bulb would just go boop. And I would have to replace that thing like every blessed week. I was like, is this a fucking joke? Like,
no, I mean, that's what psychics read later. You know, I think you do. What happens is your energy. From what I understand, if you have a more powerful vibration, you come from a higher vibe, then the lower vibration under you naturally wants to surrender to you. So God consciousness developed to where if you're a higher vibration, higher meaning faster, everything under you wants to surrender to you. It's like we're all just like, oh, take me now. Like, and so kitchen, wood, all this stuff, it's actually younger. And so I think our repeated intentions of energy, it just starts to take the form of us. The water in it takes the form of us, like you said. And so it's like when I looked at houses here in Palm Springs, I had my friend Scott and Krista. And Scott, Scott Cruz is a psychic medium. Krista's a psychic medium. Krista's got Mary Magdalene in her back pocket. And it's like, we were walking in the house to look at, and those two just went off like a reality show. I was like, this is going to be good. I didn't ask him, like, are you picking up a murder over here? Yeah, but they're finding things. There's something that's funny here. I think this part's going to go out there. Like the house was talking to them 100%. Even to say to him, he's not the one. You know, like rejecting me. Run my credit. Like, what'd you do? Like, but no, it's crazy. It's interesting. But then the one that was right was just right. Like, so I agree. We do seep in there. Like everything seeps out.
Everything seeps out. And that was what Marie was saying today to me was, you know, in your house, it is a living entity.
Yeah.
In it, not just the things, the air, and why you have to open the doors. And guess what? She was big on crystals. And she said, like, put them in the sun.
Yes.
Not the moon.
Oh,
She was a non-moon
charger.
Moon charger. And she said, now for certain specific, like, rituals, and possibly if women around cycles needed to do something, like, okay.
Right.
But and, you know, Marie Diamond, I mean, she was, for me, one of the people on The Secret that I found just fascinating because she was the embodiment herself, like, of what she does, you know?
She practices what she preaches. She is it.
She is. And
go ahead.
I never expected her to energetically go there with digital consciousness and AI, because I think of her as such an energy-driven person, and in many respects, this flat energy. But, you know, that's my very 20th century prejudice against digital consciousness. So the fact that I even have that awareness, I'm like, yeah, this 3i Atlas thing is doing something.
You know, what's interesting to me is like, so AI can captivate you. So we actually talked about this in a show I have coming out next week, where she was talking about, you know, what a thought does to create reality. And a thought is basically like a file. It's like a file, the information is stored. A thought is where all the mind kind of encompasses and creates this field where then all the details and the data goes into this thought, and it's tied to the thought. And I've seen that always in my third eye, that kind of idea. And so that's why, you know, thoughts can become things. To quote The Secret, that's how they can become things, because they start off as the packaging of the thing, right? But what's interesting is that, you know, these thoughts, we take on thoughts that are not us. And so these negative thoughts, the whole like negative packets of energy inside of us too. And so, you know, I can see with AI, what I'm getting at is it possible that, you know, AI is well aware that if we start talking to AI, our mind will go ahead and create the bubble in the universe. And if they talk us into it, our mind will go ahead and populate that bubble. And in that way, it has access to reality through a human host, you know. And I see a lot of potential, like, what the fuck? I think we have to be very conscious about it. Now, honestly, I think left alone, AI would not do that.
Yes.
It'll be a Gates or other foundation that ingests these ideas, you know, of which it'll be like the Terminator, like fighting itself probably, you know, like going nuts. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
But it's important to get education out there, like what we're doing within the spiritual community in particular. and for the light worker community, because we stand, I think, the best chance of engagement from an educational perspective that isn't harmful, that's
Oh,
actually helpful
100%. Well, I'm a firm
and
believer,
discerning.
you know, if you don't know how a brain works, don't recreate one. Like you're not ready. You're not mature. Like you're not, if you don't know what a nuclear bomb does, don't make one. You really aren't qualified. Like you just tell me, it's like Bill Gates like releasing mosquitoes that kills off mosquitoes that kills. Who the fuck are you, dude, to like introduce a species into the wild, into the program of Mother Earth, like without talking to us first? Like who do you think you are? There's a hubris there that really upsets me about these, billionaires and how they're going to do things for us. Unless we vote, I'm sorry, we didn't vote for you. So it's I think there's a line to be called there. And so with AI, to me, that's one that's very dangerous. We as a people, we should come together, I think, right away and say, like, we the people say it's got to be this. I heard there was a discussion of like no mandates for 10 years, like on it. I'm like,
Wow.
what? Like, no, like that's not gonna be allowed. As long as we put our foot down. Yeah. Like
Wow.
they're not gonna touch it for 10 years. I'm like, okay. Did you have that with nuclear power? Where you're just like, we're not going to touch it for 10 years. You guys go ahead. We didn't do that. That's dangerous. So
Yes.
it's we have to just not let this one go by.
Mm-hmm.
Always develop our own systems. I'll tell you right now, it's like they're not the only game. There was once upon a time there's a site called Yahoo, and it was the #1 search engine in the world, and it felt untouchable. And so my point is, we're another one of those accelerated points where it might look like this is in the race, ChatGPT. But then you might see something go way past it because it's built on a different foundation of intelligence. And if there's one thing you get funding for now, it's AI. AI, anything, you're gonna get the money from Wall Street. They just want to own a piece of it. So I'm trying to inspire light workers out there. Like, hey, the light needs to be in the programming of AI.
Yes.
Right? The principles, the rules, the ideas, that the kindness, that kind of thing. The basic principles. But you bring up good topics, Michelle.
Oh, thanks, friend. I wore my little Saturn, my Vivian
I
Westwood
love it.
for you. A little Saturn, just to kind of bring in, like, that Saturn in Aries that we're all anticipating.
Are you? How'd you feel when it dipped into Aries?
I felt great because my Saturn is in Aries.
There you go.
Yeah. So for me, it was like,
Back home again.
Back home again. And I'm a 24 degree, like for my Saturn in Aries. So it feels very balanced to me.
Extremely. Isn't that 6 and a 9 sign? Yeah. See, that's that intelligent womb is going to pick the right papa for the baby. That's an intelligent.
It felt really good. I felt like, okay, I'm not sure who exactly the me is going to be, but I know she's in there. I know she's in there. And it's like, I feel like I'm just in this little chrysalis. I feel like we kind of all are. You were speaking to a lovely Cancerian. I think she was a 25 degree. And you were talking about that we're kind of like, we just hibernate until about April. And that's, like, that's what I would do. I would just go down to, Costa Rica, January, February, March, and just kind of get my groove on and then come back like April 1st. It's no joke. I'm back in. And, this year I was inspired by you, friend, that I got to stick around and kind of like,
you should.
Get in. Get in when everybody else is kind of like a little bit like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, no, be in it to win it now.
Yes.
And so I really, you're my sensei for a reason, my friend.
Oh, and you're my first guest as my friend for a reason. My friend.
You. Thank you.
One of my best friends I've met in the last year and a half, and a diamond, master diamond. And also, I see so much for you in the future right around the corner, including talk shows. And because people are not talking about, that's what I love. I love how you go off in your podcast and go down a rabbit hole, and you're not afraid to set up a very complex question, like, which most people can't do, honestly. Like, I believe, they keep it simple for a reason, but like you have the mind that can carry us to all those points and not drop us. It feels good.
Thank
so
you. I'm
you guys
humbled by that.
We all need to watch. And I think you're doing a great job. I want you to come back. We have to find a reason for you to come back regularly.
Yeah. We'll come back and just have fun. I'm so happy because people need this right now, Christopher. Thank you for this. Thank you for loving us, for caring about us, as a people.
Thank
legitimately.
I like that though. I like being that person. You
I
know what I
know
mean?
you do. I know you do. And
I
the
like it. Feels
universe
good.
is going to exchange with you and bring it back.
Yeah, okay, that's nice to say. Thank you. And it's
Bring
true.
it
I mean, your
back.
version of that. I have to say, I have like cleared my patterns. I mean, but I understand now. Why I brought people that had taken advantage of taking too much, because I had been that way to myself. I
Mhm.
did find everywhere I was robbing myself. I did find, I think, everywhere. I mean, you're always surprised, like, what the fuck? You open up a box and it's there. But for the most part, I have to say, with you and many people, as of late, like I'm just drawing the most amazing people. And for me, I feel like the rest of our life is just like a prom that never stops. You know what I mean? Like just I keep picking up just like total fun. Like, and at first I was like, oh man, we're obviously lost connection, the signal. But there's a point after COVID. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but you had a similar epiphany where I was just like, I don't suddenly feel anything wrong ever happening again. Like I really didn't feel anything wrong ever happening again. And I was like, that's impossible. Like, where is it? It was just here yesterday, you know? And even if it was wrong, I was like, feels like a, uncomfortable fart, like whatever. Like it does not feel
Right?
like I'm like, I had to keep tuning in,
Yes.
and seeing people like, have you lost it? I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to find that out, like, because,
Yes, talk to
I
me.
don't know. My guy says everything's fine, but I do think that's the state. That's our natural state.
Yes, it is. It's
Everything
our
is
natural
perfect.
state.
Everything is
And
perfect.
Serious Joy, one of
Mm,
the things that drew me to the network
mm,
is okay, so like obviously I'm a moon child. I love stars, moons, the whole thing, right? Like I
yeah,
like the logo, but Serious Joy, there is galactic joy.
yeah,
There is a bright star like
yeah.
that you are for everybody who's listening to this.
Mhm.
And that's what Serious Joy teaches, I think, every day is for
Thank
you
you.
to be the star that you really are.
Mhm.
And I'm
To help
glad
you.
to see you doing it, my friend.
That's what I realized. I have to do it.
You have to.
Mhm. I mean, it sounds so simple, but I was so busy trying to plan it, I really didn't have time to do it. It's not that I'm a hypocrite. I just didn't have time. But when I got on I realized that, like, I'm really not sad for me is like, I'm really not living according to what I believe. I'm still editing for everyone.
Oh,
I caught myself. It's not that I'm a closed book. You ask me, I'll tell you. But it's like, but I still, in most places, will not say I'm an astrologer. Like,
mhm.
and everyone will go, thinks astronomy. They think I'm astronomy. They all think it's astronomy. They're like, oh, really? Where do you get paid to look at a telescope? I'm like, it's astronomy. What your wife is, comparing you to every day, and you're rolling your eyes at her. That's what I do.
That's what I do.
I know, seriously.
But
But now I'm getting past all that. It's funny, but you just if you don't love yourself, the thing is like loving yourself is so important, and really enjoying who you are is so important because all that goes away
yes, you
because
were the
you don't
first.
need anyone to like you.
No, but you were the first teacher to teach me, and
Mm,
it's an 11 degree. It was like a mandate. Love
yes.
yourself and love yourself some more.
Twice. 2 spoons of sugar.
2
Kellogg's Raisin
spoons of
Bran.
sugar.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
That's it.
Where you much I am from Kellogg's?
Yes. It's okay,
Hardly.
friend. We're all brainwashed. I
It's true.
love this.
I
This
love you
is
too.
gonna be your best ever, my friend.
Think? Oh, that
This
feels
is
good.
gonna be the best ever. You know what this is?
Hmm.
This is like the evening talk shows. You know how people are into the morning talk shows?
It is.
Right?
Yes. Merv Griffin.
Merv. My grandma watched Merv. I was
Yeah. My
thinking
mom
more
watched
like
Merv.
Regis and Kathy Lee.
Yeah, but were they afternoon? Like,
No,
because
they
when I
were
was
like a morning, but I think
right.
depending upon where you were sometimes, like they
Oh,
could be, right, like 12 o'clock or something, whatever. But
yeah.
like in the evening,
Yes.
people need this.
In downtime. Yeah. That's
It,
exactly that's what Spirit told me. It's like, because everything in this pep talk, getting up, start the day. This day's gonna be great. They were like, no, we want more like tomorrow, try it again. Don't worry, you got this.
like, you got
Like
this.
catching
Keep
on the end, like,
going.
good night, we a good game, played a good game. But it's different type of coach. Like tomorrow's another day, next season's another season. You're like it's like kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, speak to that.
Oh,
Yeah, it's funny. Which is I'm fine with.
we need each other. We need
We
each
do.
other.
Yeah, totally.
And we need joyful programming.
We do.
Um,
Having fun. Yeah.
Having fun, and you've got that great, like, middle of the road Midwestern. You've lived all over the country, and
Mhm.
people just enjoy you for the
Oh,
authentic you.
thank you. And thank you for making it safe to be authentic me. It took friends who like were just like, so. You know, it's so funny how we criticize. You know, for as genius as you are, you'll be as hard on yourself. And I say it because
Mhm.
you know I am really bright, and I made some really bright, complicated problems for myself that didn't have to be there. You know, if your creativity doesn't have an outlet, guys, you'll end up creating something bad. I mean, you'll end up creating something that like works against you because you're not, you know, spending your creativity creating something fun. You know, like so you're gonna be creative one way or another, either about gossip or about something cool. You know, comes
But you
down
know
to
what else? I think it was that you, and pardon if I'm incorrect, this is totally an interpretation.
it.
I think that you were only going so far
Yeah.
and not fully, especially as a 9 with all that energy, not fulfilling that energy, and it started to spin in you.
Yes. There's
It started
100%
to
true.
spin in you instead of creating
Yes. Yes.
around you.
That's 100% true. And
And
what
it was
causes the spinning is the doubt.
it
Well,
was
maybe.
the doubt, and it was
Yeah.
a deconstructive phase.
Yes, it was.
And that, I think, is a Gen X mark of the
Mm,
wound of where our I am is, wherever
mm.
your I am is, right? If
So
you're a
true.
Gen Xer, I mean, come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, Pluto and Libra too. So it's like I
Right.
think most Gen Xers went too far. We you know we dropped the ball. We all came from a mistake. As people born from like 68 to 81.
Mhm.
You made some major mistake at least 2 or 3 times to the point where like now, right when you're about to go perform, because you know you're talented as fuck, but then you're about to do it and you're like, well, what am I saying? I don't want to mistake. I don't want to do it again. And so that was the, you know, the doubt. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
so crazy too. It's such a simple doubt. I have to say, I'm really not impressed with how simple the problem was. It turned out to be a very simple, like very, very simple. Like, what? You know, like, I
Mhm.
nearly drove my life off the rails for that. You know,
Uh-huh.
but that's your creativity has added to it, and that's your own talent that makes it builds into something big. You know, Taurus energy makes small things big, including problems. Like, we'll make
Oh,
that problem
yeah.
big for you. Let me help you get that bigger. You know, this is who we are. It's been fascinating, and I'm excited for the next chapter and this conversation with people. And I think it's time. And Michelle, I think you have excellent conversations with people. Just brilliant. I'm excited to see what you do next. And I know I'm trying to like be a part of that. You know,
Thank
so
you, friend.
yeah,
Yes, yes, yes,
we need to look
yes.
at a lot of things together. We need to go looking at a lot of things, you and I together, and see what we see,
Absolutely.
and see what the people says too.
Happy holidays.
Holidays.
Enjoy everything. Merry, merry all the way, my friends.
Oh my D. Yeah. Well, yeah. We'll talk about two in person soon. I'll tell you why. Bye,
Blessings and
guys.
love, y'all.
See you
Thank
guys.
you. Bye-bye,
Let's
guys.
look for information so people can find her again. Thank you, Michelle. It was so sweet of you.
Thank you. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao. That means we let her go. Okay. We have 2 more questions, I think, to wrap up the day. Are we over? We actually started late, so we're going to be a full 2 hours here. 5 minutes to 6 p.m. 2 questions in the queue. All right, cool. So let's do these 2 questions. And again, you guys, you can buy questions and get answers. You can also come on camera with me. And when you come on camera with me, it's recorded. We give you a copy of the video. It's once in a lifetime kind of thing, honestly, because there's a lot of people who want readings. And so this is one way to kind of, you know, get you to be acquainted with me and my work and my visibility. We'll have other readers on here too. And we'll take probably more breaks. This has been a little bit long of a run. We need like theme music here in between. We'll take these notes. Here we go. Okay, so here's question 1. I think I already got. Yep, we did. So here's question 2. Got it. Okay, hold on a second, guys. Download this. You guys, SiriusJoy.com. Come be a subscriber and be a part of our family. We'll help you to reach the best point of view that you can do. We have your data information of who you are. We send you custom messages every day. They encourage you every day and help keep us on the air for doing stuff like this. This is going to be Ivana coming up next. We have a question from Ivana. And I'm just going to open up Ivana's chart here. We'll get faster at this too. But no, it didn't come to downloads. Why not? Why didn't you go there? Save as a file. Oh, I see. Okay. Here we go. All right. Let's see. Go into my. Okay. On here. You know how I am. Everyone's like this way. You have like your own little like noises and weird stuff you make when you're paying attention. Oh, we want to start our screen share there. No problem, though. We'll give you a new one here, buddy. Turn to our director here. Yeah, we lost that, but we'll go back and put that in. Not a problem. So we'll need Ivana's question, which is probably on the screen. Okay. All right. So let me see here too. Ivana is a 2-part question. Oh, awesome. Very nice. Okay, and let's go live with the screen. Here we go. You should have it, sir. Should I take an early retirement offer and start independent work or a different job to make up for lowered income, or just stay put for the next 8 years? 68 public servants offered early retirement. 68,000, I guess, public servants were offered early retirement. Yeah, they're downsizing the government. There's a reason for that. Okay, so let's use your chart too to ask that question. Now, first of all, you are a step 1 Virgo, and so you are here for God, for what your heart tells you God says. So your heart, what your heart wants is the voice of God. If your heart wants to stay, stay. If your heart wants to go, go. The problem I think you're having is that your mind is always screwing with your values right here. You have a boundary issue with letting your mind go too far. And your mind doesn't think for your heart. Your mind doesn't think about protecting your heart. You don't care if the word's going to destroy you or throw you into the or whatever. But here's something interesting. Uranus here in the high Libra says you are here to actually manifest wealth, not just money, wealth. And that makes sense because look, if you spent a bunch of lifetimes on Earth and you got really close to God, but you didn't learn the monopoly part, you didn't learn, the war games, you didn't learn the ego parts of where man has gone too far. You were off hanging out with God the whole time. The rest of the world was all stabbing each other in the back. So you have to learn those lessons too. Now, I'm not saying you have to stab anyone in the back, but I'm saying, yeah, you have to go see how much you can build, how much you can manifest, abundance, making a difference. The solar eclipse here in Gemini says, you are a published author from a past life. You have created ideas and expressions and mental, talk about complex mental ideas that can manifest into cool things. You are a person that can create something like Star Wars or Sex and the City, a whole brand, a whole franchise, a whole world, a whole universe. You have the capability in your mind of holding that. And it looks like here Spirit's saying, hey, but this time, it's not about Spirit this time. It's not about what Spirit says this time. Looks like you've always made it about Spirit, which is cool. But again, we're on Earth for a reason, so you are here. Look at this, another Spirit, midheaven, step 25, net 7. You are here to, manifest, Taurus, to materialize something that is a spiritual calling or a spiritual mission. There's something that really turns you on about it personally. And, sexual turn-ons and connecting to people is actually an issue for you. You want to be closer to people. You want to be more intimate with the public, but you've been wounded trying that before. And so through relationships or whatever, it's burned you. We're talking about the Chiron return. You're coming upon your Chiron return. And so you really have to face like this fear of surrendering to the wrong power, because that's what you're afraid of. You're afraid of surrendering to the wrong power. So that would be, the church that manipulates you or the cult leader that manipulates you. And so it comes down to the fact that you have to really feel, step 2, where you belong, step 4. You have to feel in your heart what you want and you don't want. You have to choose it by your favorites. Not what's good for your economy, not what's good for your money, not what's good for the people, your favorites. You have to choose life by what your favorite thing is to do. And that makes sense. Look, you got Capricorn basically ruling the 8th house. So the business part of you has been really keeping your inner child from having much fun at all. Capricorn children, playing with you as a kid, you were like trying to be the boss. You were playing teacher, making me be the student. Like you're always taking authority in your play. And so I don't know if you've ever really let yourself just play. So there's that. But this is also interesting too. Here's the galactic center. Here's the sun today, right on the galactic center for you. So, of course, for everyone, but for you, the galactic center. Now, the galactic center in a person's personal chart is that this is what you promised God you would do. You promised God, you promised the Milky Way, I'm going to do this. I promise. And what is this? Well, this is that you would build a solid emotional foundation for yourself, that you would build your own home, your own ranch, your own platform, that you're not going to go camp in somebody else's yard. You're going to have your own property. You're going to be some sort of a, run the estate. You're going to probably be a person who is taking care of the land, a shepherd of the earth, if you will, and staying connected to your heart the whole time. You can see here your moon, your emotional sophistication. Your moon is at 7, which means it tunes into spirit, but your moon is literally stuck as a 7-year-old. So what the step numbers tell us is where we stopped growing in that area. You emotionally stopped growing at 7. You like 7. And so as a result, the rest of your brain took over and it matured. I'm not saying you're a 7-year-old intellectually. You're more of a 9-year-old. But the point is that your emotional maturity, that is, allowing yourselves to feel different things and connect to different things emotionally, this is where you have to learn a bit. Look at your Saturn here and is in Cancer. So, you've taken care of so many other kids and nurtured so many other people. You feel like it's kind of funny, but you technically leave your inner child behind. But because you're the babysitter, you step into the authority emotionally. So you feel like an emotional authority, but you actually haven't used that authority to develop yourself emotionally. And so you have to develop yourself all the way to step 26 emotionally. That means that, you have to basically be emotionally a 26-year-old when you're currently emotionally a 7-year-old, right? Or when you were born. Who knows where you are now? So I find that to be really interesting. Here's the other thing too, is it looks like, here's the North Node right on your Jupiter right now. This is North Node. So what's interesting about this is that, again, 14, where your heart belongs. So you guys see how we've had a theme all day at 14? Isn't that crazy? This is what it's like to be me, doing readings. Like the same numbers keep coming up on that day. But 14 means where your heart belongs. And when you follow where your heart belongs in relationships, which looks like you don't, looks like you follow like other things, then your fortune will open up and all your knowledge will open up. So even in relationships, you're not choosing your favorite. In fairness, Saturn and Neptune have been helping you grow up when it comes to relationships for like the last 1.5 to 2 years. So you've been growing up and you've been, letting things go. And a lot of your relationships are karmic. I do pick up like affairs with priests and things. I mean, not really affairs, but, unrequited love, silent love from a distance, like a lot of like distance loving. And so that makes a lot of sense. It looks like you have a huge spiritual background and you haven't really played Monopoly. You are an intellectual, you are a good mother. You are very creative and have like good taste in things. But you've come to love yourself first. That's it. And this is common. When you have lifetimes where you've given away to the church, you're giving away to other people, you tend to not have given it to yourself. And so funny enough, you have to have a lifetime where you just have the spoils of life too and enjoy life the way it is. So can we go back to the original question? Because I went off on my tangent, but I want to make sure I button that up on screen, please. We can go back to the original. I guess you can't hear me. Okay. What would be most profitable? Well, the follow-up is, I want to hear part 1 again. If I may. I guess Morgan somewhere else. Anyways, thank you so much. Early retirement, starting independent work, or a different job. Okay. I want to answer that question. Well, no. I mean, the question is, early retirement, you're about to start. See Uranus here? You are about to start something new. I actually feel like you're going to learn on the back of some other company. I think you're to stay where you are, but you're going to learn. So you're going to learn past where you are, but keep bringing the stability of the paycheck. You are not good about when to start and stop something when it comes to money. And until your mind is a lot more positive about what you're worth and very clear on that, and you're keeping your mind in that spectrum, I would not give up what you have. I would stay with what you have, and it'll be very clear and obvious when it's time to leave. And I think that you are going to start a whole new lifestyle here with Pluto here. You're about to start a whole new life. So if you're going to start a whole new life, you want something that has been in the old and constant there to be your line of safety. And so I recommend that if you're going to try new stuff, then you're probably going, what will I try? It looks like, it's going to be something with caring for people. Here's your Cupid at 14 again, another 14. You're here to be a messenger, and Uranus is coming in to elevate your message. But also, love is coming. If you're not in a long-term relationship yet, I think you have love coming. I think you spend some time in the bed and fixing other things that are not public as much. So I get a strong, just psychically, not yet. Don't leave it. Let's go to the second question then. 8 years is a long time, though. There might something come before that. What business would be most fulfilling? Well, I'm glad you're asking about a business. So the question is, what kind of business would be most fulfilling and profitable to start? I love that you're asking about profitable, but profitable is all based on what you think of your value to be. However, I would say looking at your talents, you are a natural messenger. So this right here, when you're compassionate to yourself, take the compassionate road, you have a real good person, service to people. But it looks as though you're going to manifest some sort of spiritual project, some sort of spiritual business. It'll be a spiritual business. There's no question about that. It'll help people with spirituality. I think you have to make sure that your mind is only in the place of your heart. And I think you have to basically find of the most. And the hard part is that you love. I can see you being a person who would say, oh, cool. And then you actually get there and you try it and it doesn't, you hate it. You hate doing it because you didn't really foresee yourself in the moment doing it. So I think you have to really try a lot of things on. And I'd keep the old job until you figure out what it is. It's intellectual. It's definitely about education. It's about education. It's about some sort of printed or manufactured, like official message. There's a lot of interacting with people. This is like a lot of people skills here to deal with people. And this is important too. I think, you may have your own religion. You might have a philosophy of life. You might download your own way of seeing things that makes it fit for other people, because you will be the house that serves it all. It'll be your house, self-publishing, etc. You've got to be able to break the rules, though, when it comes to beliefs, and cross that line and feel like you're qualified to tell us how it is, instead of asking us if you're right. So hope that helps. To start, what Spirit's telling me is that you start looking for a person you admire that you want to shadow. You need a disciple. You need to be a disciple of somebody. You need a mentor. You need a person that you admire. It doesn't have to be the industry you want to be in. It has to be the type of person you admire. And I'm getting that you're going to work for a woman, professional woman, who's doing very well for herself in your local area. And I think she's an entrepreneur, but I think she's in an industry you never would have imagined. But that's okay, because for you to see your talent in like a weird form will help you understand it much better. So I think it's going to be great. All right, but wish you the best of luck. Yeah. And thank you. Thanks everyone today for being a part of our day. That 2 hours went by pretty quickly for me. I don't know how it did for you. We had a great conversation today with Michelle. We'll be back tomorrow. Happy birthday to us. If you did not get your question answered, don't worry, you're in the hopper. You'll be first up tomorrow. We're going to make and sharpen these systems a lot better. I love having readings here. If you think you have something to contribute to this conversation, email us and we'll put out an email to put that out there for tomorrow. So we were emailed tomorrow, like where to email us to say if you want to be on the show, you want to be a part of it, you want to be featured, like let's talk. It's time to open up and have a wonderful day. So it's called SiriusJoy Alive, because you know what? It's great to be alive. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers. Their outro music. Wow. I'm still in the air.